What's going on the Copywriting Call podcast? It's your boy Loso 2.0, the copy guy himself. And today we're going to talk about the two different types of joint ventures. One for introverts, one for extroverts. Okay, let's get started. So I know that you pushed off from investing in yourself, okay? Every single time you tell yourself you're going to invest in yourself, you don't. One of the main problems may be the fact that you don't know how to even invest in yourself to begin with. That may be the first problem. Second problem may be the fact that you just don't really, want to take that risk, right? We're scared of risk of wasting money, wasting time, resources, or anything like that, because then it's like, what was the point of even doing it in the first place? What was the point of even trying to put ourselves out there if we were just going to be rejected? And to be honest, you are scared of rejection, no matter how hard you try to say like, oh, I'm not. Anytime you try to play it off and say that you're cool or whatever, you think that you're strong for not being scared of rejection. Most people are. Even myself was very fearful of rejection a lot of times before, and even still struggle with it from time to time. Now, I don't mean rejection with women because obviously I'm married, but you know what I mean now. And you probably haven't paid attention to me as much. Paid attention to, my podcast, listening to anything. You may stay tuned. You may listen to a little bit, but you're not really paying attention to what I'm saying because, you probably have better things to do, and that's okay. Sometimes you may get too busy where to the fact that you feel like you don't have the time to even spend trying to listen to me or trying to hear what I have to say, although I am dropping some knowledge right here for you, brother. And this is what this episode is about. I'm going to give you, like I said, marketing gold. It's for extroverts and introverts. So if you are extroverted and you're really outgoing and stuff like that, I have a perfect one for you for joint ventures. And an introvert, I have a perfect opportunity or idea for you that are introverts as well. So two different JVs. So people, first of all, let me explain joint ventures again. I'm pretty sure I put it in a previous episode. And the reason why I keep emphasizing the point of joint ventures because they are they're marketing gold, right? It's something that I really was not doing a lot of times. And like, I've been working on my business for 2 years, right? Now I'm finally starting to get a clear direction after 2 years of failing. Cause obviously I didn't have a coach and I did have coaches failed a lot of times. I failed, for not really being, I put myself into that situation because it's myself, but it's the point of matter is that I'm saying is that like, you have the two joint ventures, right? So, like I said, let me think. All right. So, yeah, you don't know the value of JVs. JVs, joint ventures. Joint ventures is when you and a person with a similar audience are doing something together in order for both of you guys to grow. Now, that could be in a couple different ways, right? There's 12 different ways to really do that. That Ben Settle talks about in his big book of business, which is right here. Guys. About a $50 book, definitely well worth the money. I had to put it aside because I had to, free focus. But literally, he talks about 12 different ways, but I seen two that really stuck out to me because one was for introverts, one for extroverts, like I said. So that's what a joint venture is. Secondly, you need to know the value of a joint venture. Like, this is how majority of these big businesses became big businesses. These are how these people grew. This is how they started at first. Those top tier entrepreneurs that you probably look up to, this is where they started at. They started off with joint ventures because that's what helped them grow to the level that they grew at, right? And even he talks about it. Ben Settle even talks about it in his book about how he used joint ventures to grow his business, and it really helped it grow exponentially, but at the same time as well, grow with the good foundation, right? Because if you're marketing, a lot of times it's those one and done clients. But with joint ventures, it's by word of mouth. They trust the person that you are getting shouted out by, and them trusting that person, it's also going to allow you to be trustworthy as well without having to do much work. So that's one. All right, so now I'm going to talk about it. The first one, the first joint venture is for introverts. So people who are really afraid to kind of go. Most entrepreneurs, really, by the way, those famous ones that you look up to, they start off as introverts. Even myself, I was an introvert definitely at first, but I could definitely turn the switch on and off now. But I was definitely an introvert growing up. Like, I was really, really shy. I didn't really talk a lot. And I talk about this in my book a lot, right? I really was just afraid of women. I was really afraid of just anything, even afraid to talk. So I would really just stay quiet to myself a lot of times. Most people, that grew up with me would know that. I was really quiet at first. I just stuck to the books and did what I had to do. But now I'm in front of cameras, in podcasts, explaining to you guys my story so you guys can grow. But the first one for joint ventures is interviewing people. So a lot of times people are not good talkers are good at speaking, but they're good at asking questions, right? I think me and my one of my friends that I'm also going to interview on, well, we're gonna go over a couple different topics on the podcast. Me and him were also talking about this as well. Like there's a lot of, like, he feels like he's really good at asking questions, which is cool for introverts because he's kind of a little bit of introverted. And asking questions in interview. I know a guy who has a podcast. He literally just interviews all, 6-figure up entrepreneurs, and he just puts them on his podcast. That's it. I forgot what the podcast is called. I was watching it every single day. That's what they had Dan Locke on there once. He had, what was his name? It's Frank something. He's another copywriter. He had like all these different copywriters. He had different business owners on there, guys who were doing MLM programs, all that stuff on there. He had different people on there. He was just interviewing people, and now his YouTube channel, he's making 6 figures from it, from just interviewing successful entrepreneurs. That's it. Russell Brunson's another one who also started off by just interviewing different entrepreneurs and then putting that stuff together. It's called The Reporter. So it's when you literally are just interviewing different entrepreneurs and stuff because you don't have a lot of stuff. You're not an expert in anything just quite yet, but you're also using this to put stuff together. Another big person who did that was Napoleon Hill. Now, if you don't know who Napoleon Hill is, first of all, you should definitely know who that is for being an entrepreneur. He created the book Think and Grow Rich, which is one of the most well-known entrepreneur books out there right now, right? So he made Think and Grow Rich by literally interviewing. The whole concept of the entire book is just interviewing different entrepreneurs about what are the qualities and what are the traits for them to be, successful. So that's literally all it's about. That's literally it. Like, all right, so what traits made you successful? What traits made you successful? That's all he talked about the whole time. That's it. That's literally the whole point of the whole book. There's no ifs, there's no ands, there's no buts, there's anything like that. He literally